This Grammy-winning ensemble of 6 African-American women have been raising their powerful voices against injustice for the past 30 years. Sweet Honey in the Rock, Raise Your Voice, is next on PBS.
Welcome to the future. PBS Digital.
Raise Your Voice, Sweet Honey in the Rock has been made possible by the Ford Foundation. Funding for this program and for American Masters provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. American Masters is made possible by the support of the National Endowment for the Arts, because a great nation deserves great art, and by Rosalind P. Walter. The Blanche and Irving Laurie Foundation. Judith B. Resnick. Jack Rudin. Marvin and Mary Davidson. The Marilyn M. Simpson Charitable Lead Trusts. American Playhouse. The Andre and Elizabeth Cortege Foundation. Additional funding for Raise Your Voice, Sweet Honey in the Rock provided by the National Black Programming Consortium, the Maurice Falk Medical Fund, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Please give a very warm welcome to Sweet Honey in the Rock.
Sweet Honey is a group of women who come out of that legacy of the civil rights movement, coming out of slavery and the tradition of spirituals. All of those musics put issues on the table.
Sweet Honey is unique. It's the color of that voice, the passion, and then you pick up those words and you say, my, this is something I need to pay attention to.
There's something very primal in the human voice, reaching for its full song and its full message. We're afraid of finding the full breadth of our voices. And Sweet Honey not only gives us permission, they challenge us to do that, and they show us how.
My God calls to me in the morning dew. The power of the universe knows my name. Gave me a song to sing and sent me on my way. I raise my voice for justice. I am a lion, put up a hand.
We sing to offer a look at the world from the Black woman's voice. The world needs to know what it looks like to us, and that's why we exist.
Peter Piper picked a peck of purple. Oh,
heart, my voice sounds like my voice. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Sounds good.
Oh, my Jesus is all.
Yes, Jesus is all.
Oh, my Jesus is all.
Yes, Jesus is all.
He's my only.
He's my all in all.
Sweet Honey in the Rock is a group of 5 women who sing a cappella. It's not a voice that is often heard in mainstream society.
Sweet Honey sings great black music, which means traditional African songs. We sing gospel, we sing blues, jazz, we do hip hop. We sing everything in between, and we sing it a cappella style with a political ring.
No one has the right to hurt me, especially when they say they love me. Apologies on me.
Shirley, as our sign language interpreter, is also part of the ensemble.
So I take
She is there all the time whenever we perform.
me today. Run to a shelter, run to a friend.
You got some women who turn our power and our instruments over so that there is a phenomena called Sweet Honey in the Rock.
Run for my life before
And it has been 30 years of doing it.
I am gonna run far away from here.
Since 1973, there have been 22 different women who have participated in Sweet Honey in the Rock. And the person that's been there since the beginning is Bernice Johnson Reagan.
We began our work in 1973, and in 1975, there was a case in North Carolina about a woman named Joanne Little who was in jail. She killed her jailer who sexually assaulted her, and the state of North Carolina put out a dead or alive warrant on her. And this song was played for the first time. It's our first music on radio. Kojo Nambe at WHUR. He was in the news department. It should have been an indication that we were not going to break into the top 40.
That was a very tough thing that happened. And for it to be heard on airways, I was thrilled to death, because that meant that you could really talk about the truth. To me, Sweet Honey is the truth.
Along came this woman, not even 5 feet tall, charged in jail with breaking the law. And the next thing I heard as it came over the news, first-degree murder, she was on the loose. Tell me who is this girl, and what is she to you?
Sweet Honey uncompromisingly sang about Joanne Little and laid it out for all the world to hear and saying, she is my sister. You know, that's it.
Tell me, what did she do to deserve this name? She killed a man who thought that she was fair game. When I heard the news, I screamed inside. I lost all my cool, my anger. I could not hide, 'cause Joanne is you, Joanne is me. I'm feeling it, hold the tiger.
For Sweet Honey in the Rock to do a song about Joanne Little, they were clearly indicating that this group was going to chart a path that was not necessarily going to be compatible with commercial radio or anything else, but it was going to be their path.
Sitting in
a cappella is a challenging experience. First of all, you have to really understand that your instrument is in your body. When you walk on stage, you're on and you're on until it's over. And you realize that you have a unit of people who are relying on you to produce your sound.
There's no barrier between the group and the audience. We are unencumbered by having to walk out in front of a band or to deal with a band. It's just us, like we're sitting on a front porch. And it's a musical conversation that we're having.
We are in the and you know I'm with my love
When you sing with an a cappella group, you actually have to learn dependency. I can hit this because I know she's going to catch me on this note. And believe me, it is fun to have somebody right there to pick up where you leave off, to come to your rescue when you're running a little short, or to back you up when you get going.
Yes, I am indeed. And you know I'm with my
When you get ready to go to a Sweet Honey concert, you look in your closet.
Pick out the baddest outfit I can find.
Because you're going to a special event.
It's actually being a part of the performance, in a way, because Sweet Honey does involve you in the process.
In the morning, and you say, theoretically, you ought to be singing in harmony. It's a Sweet Honey concert. It's supposed to sound good. In the morning.
What is going on at a Sweet Honey in the Rock concert is that people are actually losing this kind of facade that we usually have. As adults, we'd like to keep our composure, and singing really breaks down that barrier. They really are developing a sense of community in that moment. It may be fleeting, but it's really powerful. It's something that I think we're missing in our society and in our culture today.
The freedom of expressing yourself is much easier through music. And so if I sing and I can feel music, then music connects me to something that's beyond time and space.
Keeping the lights at a good level means that we can actually see the audience, and we want the audience to know that we see them. It's a circle of communication.
Sweet Honey in the Rock is a celebration of the voice. It's a powerful thing, and this is something that humankind has used since the beginning of time.
I've been in the storm so long.
I think first, in terms of my music, I'm born into it. I grew up in Southwest Georgia, and before I knew anything, I think I was sitting in churches where people were operating with all of the vocal power they could muster. And all of that singing was collective, people singing together, and voice was the instrument.
First off, Bernice Johnson Reagan is a PK. She's a preacher's kid. Her daddy was a Baptist preacher. And you know, in the black church, if your dad is a preacher, you are there every service. In most cases, you are the congregation first. And you sit there night after night, and you hear that kind of singing. When she got in the civil rights movement, and these people were bound together, Bernice said, how can we celebrate this if we don't sing?
Bernice Johnson Reagan had a pivotal role in bringing singing to the civil rights movement. She, with what's known as the Albany Singing Movement, thought that song would be the way to connect different communities of protesters in order to speak across those kind of social divides. Song became the way, particularly when they had been arrested, for them to come together.
Lord, turn me round, turn me round, turn me round, ain't gonna let no injunction, buddy. Turn me round and keep on walking, yeah, keep on talking, Lordy, marching up to freedom land.
Well, the songs are a very important part when they actually relate the story of the movement and what's going on. And right now, we as a group are using these songs to spread the movement to the northern part of the United States.
Music allows people to sustain themselves, to go even further through these perilous times. People were getting killed. So music played an integral part in keeping that faith that keeps people going.
I give you now the Freedom Singers.
Using song to stand in unison, in harmony, in solidarity with each other, was something that I think people are in awe of still today.
Singing everybody, we shall not be moved. Singing everybody, we're just like a tree, just like a tree, ready by the water. Stand up everybody, we shall not be moved. Stand on up, stand up everybody, we're just like
not uncommon at a Sweet Honey concert to do a series of songs from the civil rights movement and to say to people, you better practice these songs. You don't know when you're going to find yourself in a demonstration next. And you might want to have a song to sing. So come on, let's practice this now.
When you see people applaud, hearing people go clap, 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 deaf people is in the hand, waving in the air. I remember one time in particular, there was a deaf guy who, this was his first Sweet Honey concert. And from the first song, he started signing. Right along with me. I would sign, and he would copy my signing. And so he was singing with us.
The sound check is really crucial for creating Sweet Honey in the Rock. Sometimes the bodies are there, but we left Sweet Honey someplace else.
Did we fall apart? Yes, we fell apart.
And we have to stay there until I have a feeling that, in fact, the group has arrived. And that has something to do not only with knowing where the voices are, but also is the energy there, and are people listening to each other?
Somebody has prayed me over, somebody has marked my way, somebody has prayed me over.
When she's doing somebody has prayed me over, what are you doing?
Somebody has prayed me over, somebody.
On that one, I don't do somebody. I go somebody, or wherever it is. I go up.
We are not getting the contribution we need to get from you. When there's that, that's so important. And then the one, over. And it feels like the two parts cross each other.
Yeah.
But they're not crossing each other enough.
Vision set on tomorrow, and I heart wide open, mind clearly on the future, learning every single day. Somebody has prayed me over, somebody has marked my way, somebody.
And once we get out of the sound check, Sweet Honey is in the house.
There is a distinct approach to blending voices in Sweet Honey in the Rock. This is really based in an African aesthetic, where every voice has its own timbres, its own color, so that you get what is more like a mosaic. You actually get to hear a community.
My line is, and for the next 5 minutes, that's all I'm singing.
My part in Fulani chant is on the top.
My line is,
One of the biggest challenges I face interpreting for Sweet Honey's singing are some of the songs that don't have lyrics. And I think about how an abstract painting that doesn't have a clear picture there, but its color and its expression. And I think about
the first performance that I did with Sweet Honey was at Battery Park in New York. 250,000 people. And before we went on, about 5 minutes before we went on, Bernice said, okay, we're going to sing this, 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 and this. And the last this I had never heard. And she basically said, well, it goes like this. Take it out of my mouth.
You know how you're growing up and you listen to the radio and there's songs you really like and you really don't know the words. So the song is going on and you're like, oh, and I knew here, yeah, that kind of a thing. So you just do the best you can.
And so I stood on that stage in front of 250,000 people taking the words out of her mouth. I've been doing community sings maybe about 12 years. It is an opportunity for people to come and for 2 hours be part of a choir that we make right there on the spot. Yeah, you got 3 notes and it alternates. So just pick one at some point and, you know, life is returning. Some people will say, oh, I'm tone deaf, and fine. Sing me your one note. And sing it with all the emotion that you have. That's singing.
Issei says, no, don't worry about any lyrics on the page. Rely on your heart, your mind, and your body to carry it, and you will.
Our voices are who we are, and so once we have an opportunity to freely let that go, we feel happy. Won't that be a time when we get over yonder? Won't that be a time when
Sounds merging is the creation of community. When my sound merges with yours, I lose my loneliness. And so, if you want to know that you're there in the world, your presence, you can sing. And the body sort of becomes, like a light bulb. It lights up.
time.
I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world.
This is my grandmother, Hallie Ellis Robinson.
You used to rock me in the cradle of your arms.
This is my father. And for over 60 years, he taught violin. But back in the 30s and 40s, he had a string trio. This is me when I was 4, studying the violin. I started studying at 2.5. My father's instrument was violin, so that was the instrument that I wound up playing. But I loved the bass. When we went to church, my mother sang in the choir, but my father and I would sit together, and he always sang the bass line. So I always heard the bass lines on the hymns, and, you know, I would imitate him sometimes, so.
All the things that I was told.
I'm an only child, and I did not know that my parents had kept these things for me until after they died. Literally thousands of photos, some of them going back into the 1800s.
I thought that you were gone, but now I know you're with me. You are the voice.
Every time I look at these photos, I am learning something about our culture.
I know please thank you.
Through the music that I'm writing, through the music that we perform in Sweet Honey in the Rock, I think is a piece of that, trying to contribute to who we are.
I know that who I am is numbered in each grain of sand. I know that I've been there.
In 1990, I wrote Wanting Memories and dedicated it to my father. Then when my mother died, and I found all of these things, I realized that, in fact, they had left me the very memories that I was asking for in that song, and didn't realize that that was my story.
Harry Moore was an organizer in the state of Florida. He was killed along with his wife, 1951, on Christmas night. During the 30s and the 40s, they organized NAACP chapters in the state of Florida. There were more registered black voters in the state of Florida than in all of the other southern states combined. He was so good, they had to kill him. And we spent a lot of time trying to stay this side of death. like we gonna make it, you know. You could really go for broke. You're gonna die anyway. Make a difference. It seems I hear Harry Moore from the earth, his voice still cries. No bomb can kill the dreams I hold. Freedom never dies. It happened in Florida, the land of flowers. It was on a Christmas night. Men came stealing through the orange grove. Men of hate carrying dynamite. It was to a little cottage. The family, the name of Moore. At the window hung sprigs of holly, a fine wreath at the door. It was on a Christmas evening and the family prayers were said. Mother, father, daughter, and grandmother went to bed. The father's name was Harry Harry Moore of the NAACP. He fought for the right for us to live. Black folk must be free. It seems I hear Harry Moore from the earth, his voice still cries. No bomb can kill the dreams I hold, for freedom never dies. Freedom never dies, I say. Freedom never dies. No bomb can kill the dreams I hold, for freedom never dies. It could not be in Jesus' name beneath the bedroom floor. On Christmas night, the killers hit the bomb for Harry Moore. It could not be in Jesus' name the killers took his life and blew his home to pieces and killed his faithful wife. It could not be for the sake of love they did this awful thing. For when the bomb exploded and the Moors died, no hearts were heard to sing. And certainly no angels cried, peace on earth, goodwill to men. But around the world an echo hurled a question, when? When will people in Jesus' name, and when will they by prayer know that each one has the right to stand up everywhere? When will people, for the sake of peace, the sake of democracy, know that no bomb you can make can stop us from being free? It seems I hear Harry Moore from the earth, his voice still cries. No bomb can kill the dreams I hold, for freedom never dies. Freedom never dies, I say. Freedom never dies. No bomb can kill the dreams I hold, for freedom never dies.
I didn't know the story about the NAACP.
I didn't either.
I didn't know about that. And that song that's going to make me go home and look it up.
It gives us a knowledge of things that we really had no knowledge about. You know, because there's so many African Americans that don't have a clue about African Americans. Sweet Honey exists to present our perspective in music and culture to anybody who will listen. Therefore, we have to be prepared to go any place.
We're on to the next cities. Storm Lake, Iowa, Lincoln, Nebraska, and Lawrence, Kansas are the stops for this weekend.
Take it, Art.
Everybody's gonna be there. I bet they are. Your friends and mine from everywhere.
All right.
Oh, what a time it's gonna be. Come on, baby, let's go and
Sometimes we will go into a place where there are people who have no history of Sweet Honey in the Rock. They don't know what it is. That was certainly true on this particular weekend.
We're here to see the gospel singers.
Some music, I think.
Traditional African, something like that.
We're here tonight to see Sweet Honey on the Rocks.
They thought they saw a bunch of black women in some African costumes on the picture, and they weren't quite aware of what they were in for.
I talked about how hard it was to be coherent with the war going on and dead bodies coming back of Americans who were dying in that war. And then I talked about, even when I feel I can't talk about what's happening, I do remember this, that I don't believe that I've been told everything about our policy in invading Iraq. Saddam Hussein was on our side. We supported and identified him as the leader of Iraq. And now we come into Iraq to liberate the people for their freedom. We don't want Iraq. We don't want their oil. We just want their freedom. We have never done that really before that way. I have to remember that I know that. Even as I listen to everything that they are telling me. I don't know how my mother walked her struggle down. I don't know how my father stood his ground. I don't know how my people survived slavery. But I do remember that's why I believe.
Some people were very offended and upset by what they heard. Few people walked out, a whole family walked out, and I think they withdrew their support for the center.
Well, I came here for a concert, so that's, I'll take it, but it isn't what I came for.
We've always used the arts in a very functional way to do the work that we have to do. So for us to sing about what's going on, to speak about what's going on, is just who we are.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Oh, we who believe in freedom.
Jordan, are you there? It's your mother. Wherever you are, call me at some point. Bye-bye.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it's found. I'm a woman who speaks in a voice, and I must be heard. At times I can be quite difficult about no man's word. We who believe in freedom cannot rest.
They're the conscience that we have right now, especially right now. I don't think there's another group that is challenging us to stand up where we should.
In the mornings, when it's time for my son to wake up, I think it's a wonderful way to wake up to music. And so every morning I sing songs to him to get him going.
Look, 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 look. The sun woke up. The sun woke right up. The sun woke up. A new day in my life.
I try to get my son to stop and be still and listen. The voice that you have inside of you will really just guide you right on through the day.
Most cultures in the world have some sort of tradition of singing. And to me, as we've gone along in modern life, some people have maintained it and some people have dropped this tradition.
80 bottles of beer to one, 80 bottles of beer. Take one down, pass it around. 80 bottles of beer to one. We're going to Entry Pack and we're going to see Sweet Honey on the Rock. My mom told me that women are made to survive. So I think that's what Sweet Honey on the Rock is. 76. Okay, 76 bottles of beer to one, 76 bottles of beer.
I have talked to kids who go to camp, and I say to them, so what songs do you sing in camp? We don't sing. I'm shocked. If you don't sing at camp, if you don't sing in the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts, then a huge part of our culture is missing.
I am young, and I am positive. I am the future. I'm going to tell it like it is. I won't let anything stand in my way. My eyes on the price, they will stay that way. I've got self-respect and a whole lot of pride. I won't let you pull me down into a negative stride. Down a dead-end street where only trouble lies. That's not the way to keep my eyes on the prize.
It's very important for Sweet Honey in the Rock to be involved in doing children's concerts.
We have to work together, change things around.
And through listening to our songs, young people become politicized in a very subtle way.
And I am positive, I am young, and I am positive, yeah.
I think Sweet Honey in the Rock means that they want sweet peace instead of hard war.
Yeah, and I think Sweet Honey in the Rock kind of means like nice voices in hard times.
Their voices can be as sweet as honey, but they play like a rock.
For our 30th anniversary year, we really wanted to do a collaboration with someone. Eventually, we got to the idea of doing the collaboration with Toshi Regan, who is Bernice's daughter. One point that Bernice really wanted to make was a cross-generational thing.
We started talking about the concept of straddling generations and straddling concepts and straddling in movements.
I'm like one of Sweet Honey's kids, and I could very easily hear how we would work together. I think I come out of their musical language.
When you know you can produce a sound that's complete, then you have to sort of figure out, okay, well, what kinds of sacrifices in some ways will I make to build something with this other entity? I sing the bass a lot, but there's a real bass player now. So there are all of those challenges. It's like, how do we rearrange things to accommodate both groups on stage?
So you're the bass player and Big Lovely. Everybody out there knows that she's the bass player for Sweet Honey in the Rock. If she plays bass on stage, and she can't be heard, people will be mad, one. And two, if a little acknowledgement of relationship would be very sweet.
I appreciate it, Toshi. Those little things really do make a difference. Could we just touch it again?
I still want you to have the energy that you had before, okay?
You start taking all the space, Toshi. I don't know where to get in.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Ethan.
Once I'm in, I'm trying to work around you, so.
Ethan?
Yeah.
I thought you said you were going to sort of turn it over.
No, yeah.
Just a little bit. Have a relationship with him.
I'm having a relationship with him. He just don't know it. Ain't that a sad thing?
You just need to
having a relationship.
No, you give him some space.
Having a relationship.
One of the main differences in singing with the band versus singing a cappella was, I think, the sort of heat and the sort of energy.
Let us know what happened. Wonder who that was. Another man broke his word. The truth could not be heard. Somebody's gonna have to pay. Come on now. Somebody's gonna have to pay. Somebody's gonna have to pay. It look like you and it look like me. When I see the rainbow from the sky, yeah. When I see the rainbow from the sky, yeah. When I see the rainbow from the sky, you know, I get down on my knees, and I cry. Did you see the bird when she's flying through the sky? No. Well, did you see the bird when she's flying through the sky? Yeah. Did you see the bird when you wanna fly? Did you see the bird when you wanna fly? Did you see the bird when you wanna fly? Did you see the bird when you wanna fly? Look like free, I'm trying to fly away. I'm free, I'm trying to fly away. Free, I'm trying to fly. Democracy is what we want. Voting rights is what we need. Give the people the right to vote.
I don't know. I don't want to wear a suit, even though it's like mad formal, you know.
When I started with Sweet Honey in the Rock, Jordan was about 4.
Come on, Mom, please.
What are you gonna wear, jeans?
Not my way.
It's like, how do I travel and take care of him?
Sunshine or rain, they are the same. God's love, love's light in day or night. Why should I care if here or there you are with me in all I see? My every breath, my very breath, you. Glory be thine, all space divine, Spirit moves free from you, heals me. Why should I care if here or there?
This is exhausting. I ain't even going to the prom. I just want him to be aware of the fact that he could be taken advantage of. Just because he's black and he may dress a certain way. You know, the do-rag and the jeans, the baggy jeans.
I worry about police, about him just being somewhere, even with his sweet face, that he would be someplace and someone would accuse him of doing something and he's thrown up against a wall.
Because it's so cute. But at the same time, I really want Jordan to feel free to just be who he is and be able to pursue whatever it is that he might want to do in his life. Grab onto the banister, Miss Thing. Don't be that cute. So you don't want to fall down the steps.
I give as much guidance as I can, and I feel at some point my hands go like this, and he's off. He should be off and running.
I'm Jordan's mother. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is incredible.
Danny, I didn't see you.
1, 2, 3, graduation.
Great.
You all look great. No sex, no drugs, no alcohol.
He was her only child, her baby boy. She was his second daughter, her father's pride and joy. Somebody's mother, brother, best friend, sister, lover. Maybe an A1 student running, hiding, taking cover. The women gathered, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. It doesn't matter where you're living. The women gather, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. People say, not in this neighborhood. It doesn't happen here. Our kids have everything. What do we have to fear? But what about the ones who say this happens every day? Drugs and violence take our children. How much more death can come our way? The women gather, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. It doesn't matter where you're living. The women gather, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. Don't you know? Some bullets find their targets. Bombs can take you right on cue. Some in the hands of babies or officials and their crew. Claim the brother had a gun. She fit the profile in my book. Running, hiding, taking cover. Didn't take the time to look. Somebody's mother, brother, best friend, sister, lover. The women gather, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. It
to welcome to the studios of Sirius Satellite Radio, the one and only ladies carrying the fire and the torch, Sweet Honey in the Rock. And your song?
This song really stems out of children, how they are assaulted on a daily level by violence and poverty, and that war is everywhere. It's not necessarily just bombs dropping, it's words dropping. It's physical abuse, it's poverty, it's hunger. When I heard people on television saying things like, this kind of thing doesn't happen in our neighborhoods. Well, you know, where does it happen? This is one world.
The women gather, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. It doesn't matter where you're living. The women gather, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. It doesn't matter where you're living. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're living. Rain, rain, I love the smell of the rain. Rain, rain on my face, and I'm running in place, and I'm loving the smell of the sea. I love the dance of the sea, swimming so fearless and free, floating and diving. I'm loving the dance of the stars.
Despite the tragedies and the harsh things of life that happen, life still goes on. Children are still born.
This is my place, and I'm loving the glow of the rain.
Nature song, for me, it talks about some of my favorite things.
My toes, dance to the light, flying so free. I love the rain of my face, my face, my nose, fly,
At the end of the song, we're so happy, and we're all giggling and laughing, and then I throw up the scarf.
It doesn't matter where you're living. Women gather, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. It doesn't matter where you're living. Women gather, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. It doesn't matter where you're living. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're living. If the earth could fly away, could you see her flying straight through space and time, leaving all humankind behind? If she could fly away, if she could fly away, so far away. If the earth could run away.
Bernice, throughout the history of Sweet Honey in the Rock, has basically been the mother. She has been the one who gave the group birth and the one who has nurtured it, utilizing much of her energy and time and talent to hold the group together.
If she could run away, so far away, then she'd be running for life, or she'd be running for life.
Sweet Honey is very hard work. I started to understand that as long as I was in the group, I would actually be carrying a load that was more than I could carry. that there had come a time where there was a clash between who I was at the age I was, my stamina, and whether or not I could actually continue. Come unto me, to all ye that labor and heavy, and I will give you.
I got a call one night in December in the evening, and it was Bernice on the phone.
Each of us got our own separate phone calls and had our own discussion with Bernice.
And I told him I'm leaving at the end of the 30th year anniversary tour.
My initial reaction was, of course, a selfish one. It's like, oh, my God, she's going to be gone. What are we going to do?
And if you decide you don't want to continue, I will close down the group. And ye shall find rest unto your soul.
And I did think, you know, what would happen if we just said, this is it. We've done it for 30 years, this is it.
I feel like if I have life and health, I will still be a musician and a producer. I'll still be a scholar. But I just have this sense that there's a difference in the pace I will move past Sweet Honey, and that I'm really looking forward to it.
Let me see if your arms are more connected. Let's see. Let me hear the music.
I am a lady. I became very attracted to opportunities where I could work with an artist in a different medium.
Do anything you want, but connected. Let's see as a line. It could even go up or whatever. Let's see.
I found that a lot of people know about
Today is like the World Series for Sweet Honey in the Rock. We're at the Warner Theater, which is their hometown, and this is Dr. Regan's last performance in this space. This is a big, big show, and it's completely sold out.
Sweet Honey performers, 25 minutes till showtime.
Boom, 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 boom. That's a little gravelly down there, but hopefully I won't have to sing that note tonight.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickling peppers.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
That's great, Carol. Thank you.
Hallelujah.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the magnificent Sweet Honey in the Rock.
Thank you. 'Tis thee, oh, ship of Zion. Sing along, just take it out of my mouth. 'Tis thee, oh,
That last encore we performed, Old Ship of Zion, was one of the most deeply emotional songs I've had to experience with this group.
Come on, get on.
That's knowing, this is old Ship of Zion. You got to get on board. We never know when it's going to be the last moment or the last breath of our lives. It's time to get on board.
It will carry you through danger. It will carry you
I thought that Bernice would never leave the group. She is the rock of that group. She created something that will clearly go on beyond her. But that voice, that is a voice that will ring throughout the centuries. I don't know anybody who sings like her.
For those of us who were on the stage, we understood that for our DC family, this was going to be the last time that they would see the five of us on stage together, because we knew after we finished Old Ship of Zion, we weren't coming back out on stage again.
Chin up a little bit. Very nice. Smile. Nice. Good.
This is the first photo shoot of the new Sweet Honey in the Rock. And this is the first time that there has been 6 singing members of Sweet Honey in the Rock.
He came down to 2 people, and we couldn't choose. We just finally got a light that said, well, why do we have to choose?
Arne, this is Izai. We wanted you to know that we have unanimously agreed that we want to invite both you and Louise to join Sweet Honey in the Rock.
It just said, and then she relaxed and said, well, I hope you say yes.
Oh my God. They are fabulous. I must wear this around.
It is very exciting. We are charged with our mission from Bernice, and forward we will go.
Sweet honey in the rock. Sweet honey in the rock. Oh, you know it tastes like honey in the rock. Sweet honey in the rock. Sweet honey.
Everybody in me.
Sweet honey.
There's a legacy here. There's a tradition of music, and we're trying to just carry that forward.
Sweet honey in the rock. My, my. Oh, my, my, my. Oh, you know that it tastes like honey in the rock. Sweet honey in the rock.
We're Sweet Honey in the Rock. A black woman's force in the universe. And her voice is music.
I can't give you anything.
The bottom line,
of any country in the world is what did we contribute to the world? And we contributed Louis Armstrong.
The one and only Satchmo, next time on American Masters.
Moving on, moving on,
Sweet Honey in the Rock is available on DVD for $26.95. A companion CD is available for $16.98 plus shipping. To order, call 1-800-336-1917 or write to the address on your screen.
moving on. We've been viewed, we've been scored, we've been talked about, sure as you're born. Let's work together. Let's work together. Don't care how we go today. We come the way before. Moving on. The road may be rough, the way may be long. We got to keep on keeping on. Let's work together. Let's work